My name is Christina Simpson. This is my ethnographic interview for Psychology 613. This is Marbella Escalante. She's my coworker and friend, and she so nicely agreed to do this interview with me. So I have some questions for you. Don't feel pressure, just answer however comes to mind. Please share with me anything that comes to mind for you that informs you of your culture.
I'm going to have to say being raised in a family of 8, maybe the youngest. Education was very important. And my dad, that was his number one thing, to encourage us to study. Study. But, if I didn't get far enough, he will. That's always what he encouraged us. It was pretty hard because he was the only person working, and all of us were going to school except the oldest, who was also working in the fields, helping him out. He encouraged my brothers to go to school and how important it was, and even though he was a tractor driver in the fields, and I remember him, gosh, I'd wake up and he wasn't there anymore because he had left. Going to sleep and he wasn't there because he was still not back. So he was a hard worker, and he always made it happen, for us to have a meal every day and have food and always live by ourselves and not have anybody live with us. He never liked anybody, a stranger living in the home.
Okay.
So to him it was so important that we would get a good education, but he would always encourage for us not to get the easy way in, because he was able to fix our papers. And it was very hard because there was 8 of us, but every time he went over, it was because he had a letter from the attorney requesting for the presence of like 3 of them.
Wow.
So the rest would stay behind, and it would be like my mom, my sister, and my other sister with my dad. So they would come over because they were the only ones that could come over. And to him, it was just so important for all of us just to have a better life. And he was so strict on not having tattoos, piercings, especially men, not my brothers. Pants could not be baggy. He was so strict on that with them. He was so strict with us girls of not dating before we were 15, no makeup, not being able to dance. He was very strict of us not talking to boys too. He made a huge effort all the time of always trying to make money. My mom would help out babysitting, which back then I remember her taking care of the little one, and she would make a week $25.
Oh my.
Per child.
Wow.
And she still made a savings. She still had managed to make a savings for the end of the year to go visit their family in Mexico. That was our tradition every year, to go to Mexico and visit their families. And we loved it. But the main thing for him was, even though we struggled, was to not get on any food stamps or welfare or any sort of
cash aid
or anything like that, because his hopes were always for us one day to be able to get our citizenship.
Okay.
And he always felt that would affect us.
Okay.
And sure enough, none of us ever did, and up to this point, it's almost as if It's something you do not ask for, even though you could, because, for our pregnancies, we never did.
You didn't.
Because of my dad being always so proud, and he didn't want anybody to finger point us that, we're only here for this reason.
Right.
So it was strong, but, he had his beliefs, and back then I didn't understand. I do now.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay. So how did you come to know what you know about your culture? Was it mainly just through your parents, or?
I was brought over to the United States at a very young age. I was like a year and a half. It was through my parents, but they made it a tradition or to go visit every year.
Okay.
Mexico.
Okay.
We would always go for 2 weeks or whatever we were on vacation for. Like I said, my dad was a big fan of us not missing school. So if we would get 2 weeks of vacation from school, that's exactly what we would get, 2 weeks. Then when they went up to 3 weeks, we'll stay for 3 weeks.
Okay.
But we would never miss a day of school if we were on vacation, we'd always be back before that. So it was mainly through my own parents and visiting Mexico and talking to our cousins and aunts because we didn't have anybody here.
Okay.
Other than our immediate family, mom, dad, brothers.
Right.
But we didn't have any aunts, uncles, anything. It was just us.
You're all back in Mexico? Okay. Okay. If at all possible, please share with me any stereotypes you have heard shared about your culture.
I think one of those is how, they take advantage. I've heard, specifically, I've heard Mexican. And I'm pretty sure it's just not Mexicans,
right.
But how they just cross over to take advantage of the system. And they come this way to have their babies here, so the babies can get their citizenship.
Right.
And, it didn't happen to us. I can't speak for everyone. I have heard of some cases, but like I said, I can't really say that everybody's like that because my father wasn't like that. He was totally different from that. He never encouraged us to use the system. He never wanted us to abuse it. He was always, so strict and always demanding of how you had to respect people and how you had to have respect for, the law and just never lie. And so I suppose there's some people that use it and there's some people that don't. But I think that the majority of the people feel that there are people are here to take their jobs away. But in reality, I don't know exactly what exactly they're talking about because the majority of the people, I see them working in kids.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that I've heard.
Okay. I think you kind of answered the next question. Do you believe the stereotypes to be true? So kind of based on what you said.
Yes, I do believe it. But like I said, it doesn't apply to everybody.
Right.
I don't think everybody's like that. And because like I said, I do know some people that have actually, they want a better life.
Yeah.
They want a better life. And they're always encouraged by other people.
Right.
If you cross over and you have a baby on the outside, your baby will be a U.S. citizen. And someday down the road, that baby can actually get you legalized. Okay? But like I said, I was raised totally different.
Yeah.
And my dad was always very proud, and he didn't want anybody to say that anything was given to him, that he earned everything. So yes, I believe there is, but I don't think everybody's the same.
Right. Okay. So what emotions are present for you when you were treated as though you are a stereotype? So if someone was to assume that, let's say, you were one of those mothers that came over here.
I think it gets me upset because I know what I've been through.
Yeah.
And I know how my father raised us. And I can speak for all my brothers and sisters, None of us, I think, we've always my dad was so strict and we always followed his guidance, of how you shouldn't do this, and because if you do this, you will have consequences later on. And you should always try to do your best and, try to do things because you earn them, not because people are giving them to you.
Right.
So, it's hard to answer.
Yeah.
But I think it bothers me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So, thinking kind of stereotypes, if at all possible, please share with me any stereotypes you have heard shared about your culture. You've heard shared about my culture, so I guess.
Well,
I feel like that's kind of the same question that we just answered. So, based on that, my next question, do you fit any of these stereotypes?
Meaning, if I'm the same way, or meaning, do I would say no.
Okay.
I guess my answer would be no.
Based on the way that your dad raised you?
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, I hear of other people, and it really gets me upset, because it's not only Hispanics, I feel, that take advantage of the system.
Right.
But when I do hear that it's our own people, then yes, it gets me upset, especially if it's not needed.
Right. Right.
If they are, I don't know how you call it.
Abusing the system. Yeah.
Then yes, that would upset me.
Okay. Of course. Yeah. From your point of view, what is the biggest difference or differences between us, between you and I?
I think people make you believe that, at least right now at this point in time, with President Trump and everything that's going on, that there's so much racism.
Right.
It's almost as if they're trying to put it in your head that, okay, you're not wanted here. Even though, for example, you know these people and you've always known them, and they're not like that.
Right.
So it bothers you that there can be so much racism now. And I don't know if there was racism so much before, and I'm just noticing now because of President Trump and of everything that's going on. And but I think discrimination is just sad, I mean, when you're being judged all the time. Sure. Or when they're finger pointing you, or let's say something happens. Well, of course, it was, I don't know, something happened, somebody got killed. If it was somebody who was Hispanic, you can hear that people start talking, if the person wasn't, you don't hear so much about it.
Right.
It's almost like we're the criminals, we're the illegals,
Yeah.
But I feel that, for example, with you, I don't think you are like that at all. my brother-in-law, Randy, you know,